Welcome back, or welcome to the Green Coated Olive, everybody. It's me, Green Coated Olive, and maybe you can hear the excitement in my voice, or maybe you can't, and I'm just weird. But basically, let me say this statement quick: 5 words in Marvel Rivals equals 6 whole months of content, half a year of content on 5 words. And that might sound insane, but throughout this video, you will see what I mean, because it is kinda crazy. So, this isn't actually a new series, and it's lore deep dives, because characters in the game have lore, and basically the lore talks about events that go on in each character's lives throughout the seasons, and some characters get them to basically connect into the story of that season. Excuse me, jeez. But lore, but each character has at least one lore whenever they come out, and either that's connected to the season, like with the newest character Phoenix, and basically explains where she's been and where she is now, or with some of the characters, it explains what happened to them when the time string, time string, time stream entanglement started. And, so I already made a lore video the lore video for Doctor Strange, which you could check out, and I'm going to briefly summarize it here real quick. Doctor Doom goes to Doctor Strange's home. They are just flattering each other at the beginning. Doom talks about bending time and rewinding it. Doom needs a spell. He says that is in the Darkhold. Strange has a Darkhold. Doom says he needs a vampire spell. Dracula used this spell to cheat time and gain immortal life. He wants to see if he can do the same, but in a different fashion. Doctor Strange says no to using it. They start to fight. Doctor Strange captures him pretty quickly, then lets him go because of friends for some reason, and go because Doom is a man of his word and says he won't attack him again, I guess. Doom says he will be able to break time without his help or with it. Strange says he will do whatever to stop him. Doom says everyone outside will be drowning in darkness soon enough. Doom leaves, then Strange goes to where the Darkhold is held and put it through a portal to a part of the astral plane that he doesn't even know about. A few months later, a blinding flash of light happens, a ripple through time and space gets sent out, and he has to make a decision to save himself and multiple dimensions. Epic. But that is just what happened in the season 1 lore. It explains what happened in the beginning of the time string entanglement, and then also that's what happens to start off season 1 with Dracula. Now, moving on to his second piece of lore. So, all they have is titles. The first one, Magic Standstill. Now, there's a few things you could think about that, especially with relation to Doctor Strange. But Magic Standstill to me sounds most like that one scene from the Doctor Strange movie with Dormammu, where he has a standstill with him until he just decides to back off. And so I have basically created a storyline that makes sense based around Dormammu attacking the heroes in this time string entanglement. A magic standstill that Doctor Strange does with Dormammu in the Dark Dimension, or the Dark Dimension crossed over into Earth. I think this is this is hinting at a season based around the Dark Dimension / Dormammu. That means they could probably add Clea, who was at the end of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness and is in several comics with him. She would probably warn Strange and the heroes, and then they would all try to attack Dormammu, but secretly would be getting taken down by Umar, the Unrelenting, that's her title, and she is turning them into Dark Dimension monsters / hidden ones. By the way, Umar is the sister of Dormammu, and they were both banished to the Doke dimension after killing the like leader of this random thing. Old comics are kind of weird. Anyways, Umar would be taking out basically the backline of heroes and turning them into hidden one forms. Like, think of Iron Man in a black suit with like doomish red eyes or doomish red repulsor beam. That as a legendary skin would go fire, or like a legendary Hulk skin where he has black stone and all of his gamma attacks are now lead. That would be sick. And then obviously in every battle pass, kind of like this one now with Phoenix, it looks like there will be kind of two main styles, kind of like how there's the Phoenix Force and the Venom suits. The second suit form people would be getting is a more basic one, kind of like the Phoenix skins, the more basic, but it's just magic forms. And it's like purple magic because that's the main Clea has. And it would be like you could just get a character, some Leo skins would just be purple versions of them with some like spell little words on them. But it could be anything like that basically. Then in season whatever this is, .5, they why I say they, she would take Hulk, because in the comics she does take Hulk at one time, and he would convince her to help them defeat Dormammu. And the reason I think Hulk would be the one to persuade her is because in Hulk's second piece of lore, he's called Eloquent Banner. I don't really know, but just eloquent basically means convincing / persuasive banner. So maybe he is convincing her to join them and defeat Dormammu. He could say like, oh, then he'll be out of your way, and then you could rule the Dark Dimension instead, or something on the lines of that. And just very simple season concept, I would think. Just Dormammu's there, a hero would be Clea, probably as either a DPS or a strategist because she's a magic wielder. And then Umo, since she's such like a powerful, well, primordial, I don't think she's a primordial, just other dimensional person. She could even be like a tank maybe. Oh, by the way, I will be making character concepts eventually for these characters. So if you'd like to see that, I don't know, subscribe. Oh my god, that sounds so cringe. Anyways, on to the next thing. Basically, yeah, I will be releasing an episode on Clea and Umo and how they could work. But the next thing is Oath of Doom. That is the second title, and that title has kind of made me go crazy. Because that is just 3 simple words, but it could mean so much. These 3 words don't just hint at 1 season, they hint at 2. That's 4 whole months of content, / 4 whole characters. Oath of Doom. Well, let me explain it in a way I think it meant. And it's a long-winded story. In a story called Blood Hunt, Doctor Strange turns into a vampire, which is a whole can of worms I'll get into in a minute. But he goes into his spectral / just other spectral world. What's it that I said in the end of the first thing? The astral plane. He goes into his astral plane mode that we also see in Doctor Strange 1. And him and Clea, yes, the Clea from the last lore I just said, so it would make sense kind of for this to follow that up. Him and Clea, they both give Doctor Doom the title of Sorcerer Supreme. And that's so he can get rid of the vampires and save the world. And he does get rid of the vampires, but for his qualification of saving the world has not been met yet. And so basically, this starts a new comic series called One World Under Doom. And the crazy thing about this is this series didn't even start yet at the time of Marvel Rivals coming out, when this war was being teased at. So it's kind of crazy they could even have that in the game. But it's like, maybe they just said that and then they could see, and now this season's in like very, very early development. But it's like, just some stuff that's happened in the story. Spider-Man becomes a champion / a juggernaut, kind of like Juggernaut, I think. Maybe. He could see like magical band things. But most importantly, Dormammu attacks Doom in this story, and so he is the villain from the last season of lore that Doctor Strange had. But he will become a hero, and not just him. Okay, I had this crazy idea for Doom 2099 to become playable from this. And it's like, I think Doom 2099 and Doctor Doom will both eventually become playable, but I don't think it would be in a random season like this. I think that will happen if they ever release, like, maybe a story mode, even though that seems really doubtful, or, like, or if, like, the game was to end, they did that, or, like, just this a big story season to happen, and they both became playable to, like, fight each other. And obviously, Sorcerer Supreme Doctor Doom is very powerful, but that means Doom 2099 would probably just help the heroes more in the background again, kind of like they're both doing to defeat Null right now. Anyways, so I had to replace him with someone else. And so I made kind of a better idea. Juggernaut. Because he is a part of Sidorak. And Sidorak is actually a big pot, it kind of looks like, but also I don't really know. Kind of. Just, it looks like Sidorak has a casket or something it was called, and that protects the barrier around Earth from a bunch of magical things, kind of like Dormammu. And it looks like the Sorcerer Supreme has to protect that, but Doom doesn't want to do that, so he makes Spider-Man go do it. And well, then he has to defeat all these creatures that are like going to either defeat it or try to protect it from the heroes protecting it. I don't really know. That comic like analyzation I kind of did for that was very confusing. But basically, at the beginning of whatever this season is, they could defeat one member of the Sidorak group, and it's Juggernaut. Like, and then they defeat Juggernaut, and they're like telling them, Doom has become very powerful, and we need your help to go and defeat him. And that's the reason you were even called to be helped by, or like to be called by Sidorak, is just because Doom wasn't doing his job. And so Juggernaut would be like, oh man, that's stupid or something. And so we would help the heroes obviously go and defeat him. And now, I don't think it would be as complicated as the comic, because, well, there's a lot that happens in the comic. But basically, just if you boil it down to the most basic level, Doom, he becomes the Sorcerer Supreme. Then, the Sidorak brings up his challenges. We have to go defeat them, as Doom is maniacal in the background at the beginning of the season, and we recruit Juggernaut at the beginning because he's the first member of the Sidorak people we defeat, and we go over into these locations, and if we complete the map, we basically defeat one of them, you could say. And then at the end, well, I mean, not the end, in the point 5 of the season, guess who would become, well, a hero? Oh, I already said it, Dormammu. Because I really love the idea of the villains from other seasons becoming playable characters in a different one to fight the next main bad guy. Literally in the comics, Dormammu comes, and he has an amazing fight with Doom, and it's super cool. If you haven't seen it, you should go definitely read that. But basically, yeah, Dormammu could come in and fight him, and then basically almost lose because Doom does this thing. I also haven't read the series, but I've seen panels where it says like the heroes go and help Doom, and I'm so confused by that because I have no idea what that means. But basically, just since it's a game, it wouldn't exactly have to follow it one for one. So it's just Dormammu comes and starts attacking Doom, and then you guys just join him. Just the heroes join him and help defeat Doom slowly in season whatever .5, and that's just, I think, would be a crazy storyline. But something I said at the beginning, Blood Hunt, that means there would have to be a whole season on Blood Hunt 2 just to make it connect into this. That means, well, Blood Hunt is an amazing story too, and it's where Blade gets taken over by a vampire, and it's not Dracula. It's called, his name's Varney. Oh, there's this one YouTuber who makes a crazy series talking about the whole history of like vampires or something. I'll probably put that up on screen. Please go watch that. That's so peak. But basically, the Vonate was the first vampire ever, and then he got tired of being the first vampire ever, and so he made Dracula be the new head chief, basically. And then obviously Dracula does bad stuff, but then Vonay goes and possesses Blade. I have not seen all of Blood Hunt, so I don't really know why he does it, but he then cancels out the sun by blowing up people who use the Dark Force, I'm pretty sure it's called, and Cloak, from, well, a part of Cloak and Dagger, it uses the Dark Force. And they have a lore tab called Overexposure. Overexposure to the Dark Force, I am assuming. And so that happens to him, and he gets sent somewhere. I don't really know what happens to him. But that would be super cool. Also, because then we have a bigger bad as a vampire, maybe we can even get playable Dracula, which would be pretty sick. So, like, just basic concept for Blood Hunt, too. Dracula could become playable, and it's like, there's a bigger vampire bad guy. Why don't we recruit the other vampire bad guy? And then that would be sick. And I don't really know who else could join him, because I have no idea what kind of vampire characters there are. Morbius. I don't know. Just thanks for watching me speculate on this. These 5 woods drove me crazy for like 2 straight days, so I had to make a video talking about how crazy this was. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I will be making season breakdowns for each 3 of these seasons on and how they could work, and then making, well, 6 character videos breaking down how the characters could work for those seasons. So there'll be a lot of videos coming out related to this one video. So basically just, yeah, 5 woods has equaled 6 months of content for this game. Oh my goodness, that's kinda crazy. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.